I'm going on a 7-day history tour of the Scotland-England border, and this is day one. So if you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen. In the meantime, let me tell you some stories. Now, if you've been watching Scotland history tours, then you know that I've taken you up to Sutherland, over to Skye, all around my own county of Perthshire. I've even taken you to Ayrshire, to Edinburgh. Once, I even went across the border to the English town that belongs to Scotland. Of course, much of the history that happens to any country happens on its border. The battles, the standoffs, the negotiations, and of course Scotland is no different. And so I'm going to take you in 7 days to find out about some of those events. But to do it, first of all, I'm going to get a camper van, and then on the way to the border, I'm going to take you to meet Scotland's top vlogger and find out why Craigmillar is his favourite castle. Come with me. This is the first stop on my journey, where I'm going to exchange the Land Rover Discovery that I use when I take other folk on tour for a camper van to take you on tour. My home for the next week will be a camper van generously provided by Tracy at Perthshire Camper Hire Limited. Good lass, Tracy. Now, that's my wee plug to say thank you, so be sure to use them if you ever want to rent an affordable camper van. Anyway, she's got a choice of 2 camper vans to offer me. Oh, she's given them names, you know. Viv is a smaller option. Now, she'd be handy if I was trying to get about the narrow single-track roads of the North Coast 500. Much more manoeuvrable. Although, if you had to do a movement of your own, you'd need to find the facilities, if you ken what I mean. So, for a man of my girth and frequency of bowel movement, let's have a look round Scylla. Oh, there's a fridge. There's a cooker. There's a telly. And obviously, the room for my movements. And some place to store the whiskey when the police come round. It's a joke, kids. Don't drink and drive. Oh, aye. I think this will be comfy. Oh, I'm all excited now. Oh, I'm nervous now. Oh, can I be trusted in the open road? Is there anything coming? Oh, careful, careful, careful. And we're off. Ah, this is the life. The world's my oyster. So, where will we go first? Well, I'm heading for the Scotland-England border, but I reckon we can make a stop off at a castle on the way. I'm going to meet up with Scotland's top vlogger, Shaun to talk a wee bit of history and find out why one of his favourite places is Craigmillar Castle. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Bruce.
Aye, and I tell you what, you've given us a nice day for it as well.
Well, I did arrange it.
It's peeing down up our way,
is
right?
It?
So I'm assuming that this is something to do with. The sun's gone behind the cloud now.
This is Edinburgh every day. It's always like this.
Is it? All right. Okay.
Sunshine on leaf.
Yeah, that's what they say. Are you a hippie?
I'm actually not. I'm a jambo.
All right, okay. Anyway, listen, we're here to see your favourite castle. Can we go around so we can let folks see it? Yeah?
Let's do it.
Right, okay.
Come on.
So, Edinburgh Castle is actually the country's top tourist attraction, but this is your favourite.
Yeah, I mean that's quite impressive. Edinburgh is obviously a great castle, and people need to visit if they come. Getting quite expensive, mind you, but it's still worth a visit.
You're telling me.
But no, I love Craigmillar. There's so much about it that is awesome. We'll get into all the details, but like, it's even appeared in various different productions. I think 3 different major productions in the last 5 or 10 years or so.
I know it was an Outlaw King.
Yes. So, where we're standing right now, this was all fenced off when they were filming Outlaw King with Chris Pine. This here, they turned this into a medieval village, and I've got some footage which I'll give to you, which you can put up.
All right, okay.
Up high of the medieval village they built here.
Oh right, wow, okay.
So, like,
was it what they used in it, or was this like for when they get their dinner and stuff like that, or was this actually part of the?
So basically, what it was is Robert with Bruce and the main folk. They obviously lived in the castle, right?
Yeah.
But as they were coming in and out of the castle, It was like the village was around it.
Yeah.
The village around it. I mean, so you see them kind of transitioning through the area, and it was like a medieval village.
Right. Okay. Got you.
Medieval's probably not the right word, but
no, it is medieval.
Medieval village that they built. They spent probably 2 months. I remember at the time building this village. It looked amazing.
Wow.
And it was all around this grass where we're standing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really cool. So
I bet we're in one of the latrines.
We're probably in the latrine, aye. But they had like pigsties.
Oh,
they had the whole lot. It was really awesome. They obviously spent a lot of money. Netflix, right?
Yeah.
They spent a lot of money on this thing. Anyway, it's been in quite a few bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And you can see it clearly when I mean, they kind of superimpose a lot of the stuff out of it.
Oh, and they do the CGI to. Aye. So yeah, because presumably they don't have that fencing to keep you out.
But consequently, this place used to be deserted. Nobody used to come here. When I was growing up, especially, it used to be empty. But nowadays, it's obviously quite busy.
Because the telly brings people.
Aye.
I bet we'll bring people. This is telly.
Exactly. People will be watching this video and they'll be thinking,
right.
I need to come to Craigmillar now. And you do, it's a great place.
Yeah. I bet you Katrina Balfour will look, she'll see, oh, I saw Shaun and Bruce on the YouTube channel.
Exactly. Katrina, if you're watching. Yeah. You've been here before already, but it's a good place. Yeah, it's definitely.
But what an appropriate place for Mary, Queen of Scots. We should maybe go inside and have a bit of chat about some of the history.
Definitely.
Right?
It's very linked to, this whole area is linked to Mary, Queen of Scots.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to talk about.
Let's go.
Let's go. What a place, eh?
Yeah. And these trees to welcome you.
As you come through.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. And in the springtime, they're all red, full of berries.
Yeah.
The whole thing's just impressive. The floor's all red with berries.
And this, up here, this tower, that must have been built around 1400, okay? Because the lands were given the Prestons. So from that time, this is certainly mentioned in like a 1425 in a charter. It talks about this tower. So the tower was already here by that time. Do you know what I mean? And
then other bits were built on around afterwards.
At different times, various other bits have been built on, and you can see a window's been blocked up up there. But even the fact that window's quite a big window, so this clearly wasn't a defensive wall at the time that window was built. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it'd be wee arrow slits. Like somebody could throw a brick. One of the JKs for Craigmillar could throw a brick through that. Right, so this is the Great Hall.
Some place. There's a lot of atmosphere.
So much would have happened.
All the big events.
All the big events. Well, I don't know about all the, because Bannockburn didn't have.
That's true. But all the big meals, all the dignitaries that would have came, and birthday parties, and
down the years of kings would have been here, right? Robert II would have certainly visited here, because it was him that gifted the last of the land here to the Prestons. Probably most of the Stuart monarchs have been in this room at one point or another.
That's insane to think about that, right? So that's when you can really kind of feel a bit of history. You're in a place where so much would have happened.
And of course, the best known would be Mary, Queen of Scots.
Yeah.
Because she came here just after her son James was born, who was the guy that would create Great Britain. Do you know what I mean?
And she came here to recover, right?
She'd had a hell of a time.
Yeah.
So her husband Darnley, who was a bit of a loose cannon, right? He's got involved because he's an idiot.
He's an absolute ball bag, as we would say in Scotland. Not sure if we can say that, but
he's a roaster.
He's a roaster.
And so he gets involved in a plot to kill Mary, Queen of Scots' favourite courtier.
Yes, yeah.
And he leads them. If you go to Holyrood Palace, you can go round that, that backstage that they would have taken up to where Mary was playing cards with our courtiers and stuff like that. And they went in and they
stabbed them in the back.
When that happened, after that, Mary's furious with Darnley, her husband, right? But what does she do? So she comes here, and a whole bunch of her courtiers are here.
Yeah.
And they know about this murder, okay? And so they're here discussing, how do we deal with this Darnley situation? Because he's an idiot, right? He's creating problems. He's now sired a new king. So his job's kind of done.
Yeah.
Right? Can I divorce him or whatever? And Mary's big thing was, right, we can't do anything to jeopardise the question of the legitimacy of our son James. Right? So let's try and find a way to get Darnley out of the picture, but it can't get in the way of James's accession to the throne after me. And so they spent days here. There was a big wooden table there, and on that they signed what they call the Craigmillar bond, to say that they were going to kill Darnley. And so, I mean, the history happened in here, because that changed the whole course that Scotland took. Because of that, because they killed Darnley, people turned against Mary, and Bothwell, who was one of the guys involved in this, forces Mary into marriage. Okay, and then there's a standoff at Carberry Hill down by Musselburgh between the goodies and baddies. I don't know which were which. And then Mary goes into prison at Lochleven Castle, and then she manages to break out 10 months later. And then they have a battle at Langside. Then she flees to England, and James becomes the child king. All of that happens. That change of the course of history happened.
Started here.
In this room.
Yeah.
I think it's an incredible thing.
It's absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. But you were talking about other things that went on round about and growing up here.
Yeah.
Can we go up to the roof and have a look around?
Yeah, you get a good kind of aerial perspective of the whole place from up there, so we'll be able to have a look and I'll talk you through some things that happened.
Let's do that.
Let's go.
What a view, eh?
You can see half Edinburgh from up here. You can see the back end of Edinburgh.
Yeah.
That's the hospital out there.
And over the other, from that window, you'll be able to see along the other side. Yeah. It's a good view. On the other side you can see the castle and all that, but I wanted to bring you here to tell you a wee bit of a story about my kind of history of this area and why I know it so well. So basically, looking out that way, you can see that big massive white building. Yeah. That is now Edinburgh's Royal Infirmary, which is the main hospital of Edinburgh. I think they bought it in the late 80s, early 90s. My grandparents bought a caravan park called Little France Caravan Park. Right. And so I basically grew up there. Yeah. And kind of walking around the grounds here. I used to take the dogs up for a walk here all the time. Yeah. And they had that campsite for about 20 years. Eventually the council decided, we want to put a hospital there, so they got bought out of the land. Right. But it was Little France. Yeah. And everybody wondered why it was at Little France. And the story goes that when Mary came, she came with a group of French guards. And they camped out on the land down there. And they liked the land so much that I can't think some of them ended up staying in the area. Yeah, so this became a kind of French community just outside Edinburgh, didn't it? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Little France, and that name, you can still find it down there. Yeah. Little France, and everybody thinks it's a bit weird when they pass. Why is it Little France? Well, connected directly to the Queen of Scots. Because of the French people that came here. And of course the French connection between Scotland and France. Yeah. Because that's the best place. If you're going to have a French connection, Marseille would be the place. Marseille would be the place. So that caravan park, which no longer exists. Yeah. It has great history. The French sold it to your granddad. They did. Yeah. Somewhere down the line they sold it to my granddad. And it's now a hospital. It's good having the hospital there, don't get me wrong. But also there was a tree on the caravan park, a famous tree, and everyone knew it as Mary's tree. Right. And nobody knows exactly what the story is, but either she planted it or that she used to come there and sit on it and read. But anyway, this tree, which was a pathetical stump by the time my grandparents sold the caravan park, because it had been neglected by years. I think they actually painted along the bottom, somebody painted it from the council to try and preserve it. Was in the caravan park, right close to the entrance to the main road there, which is the old Dalkeith Road. And it sat there for years, but once they decided they were going to build the hospital, they eventually decided they were going to remove it. And it caused a lot of uproar at the time. Everybody's like, this is Mary's tree, you can't move Mary's tree. I can imagine. But history, even though it's just a stump. Yeah. But eventually they got their way despite the protests, and they removed the tree, and nobody knows what they did with it. Yeah. If it still exists, but probably not. You couldn't really plant it, I don't imagine. No, I think it was long past its... it was just a stump. Yeah. But it was a local legend here that was related to Mary, Queen of Scots. And then when we were kids finding out about the tree and the Little France thing, that's when we thought, Mary, Queen of Scots, and then you could find out about the story about the castle, why she was here and all the rest of it. Yeah, brilliant. So, Well, listen, I hope you've enjoyed the trip that Shaun and I have taken to bring you around what's Shaun's favourite castle. And listen, Shaun's got his own channel, which is Shaun's Vlog, is that right?
Shaun Vlog, yeah.
Shaun Vlog, right? So please go and find it. He'll be talking about all things Scottish and his life and what he gets up to. So please, if you want to do that, I'll leave a link to another video down here, one of Shaun's videos. Go and check it out. In the meantime, I'm Ian Dawkins, going to be a lamb alive. Cheery and drasta.